So yeah, another Cute for Teams session. Champions using Teams effectively. It's office hours. Come and ask questions as we do every week. So glad to see you again. I was going to start out with some, we were talking about guest access last week. And I've been now, and since we talked about that last week, I've kind of been talking about it with some others as well. I wanted to show a little bit about what it looks like for a guest to join, your meeting and or be in your group. Before I do that, let me see. Check the question. In cap. Okay, so yeah, Glenn's confirming that you've got the new breakout room functionality for setting up the breakout room prior to the meeting. So that is good. Let's kind of start there because you asked for that to be demo. So let's start there. So we're talking about scheduling a meeting. In this case, let's see, June 28th. Let's make it 11:30 is good. And let's add at least one attendee here, just for the heck. Let's add two. Okay. And we'll send that. So it's getting created there. Let's go back in. All right, so we got a bunch of stuff here now that it's created and ready to go. And so I think what you're referring to is this Breakout Rooms tab here is now here. And this is GCC demo environment. So meeting hasn't started. In fact, it's scheduled for 11:30. We haven't joined anything, but here we are with the Create Rooms button. We got our assigned people invited there. I'm going to go ahead and hit Create Rooms. I'll say that I need 2. Obviously, we could do more, but we'll go with 2. We'll add those rooms. So again, still in the meeting area, haven't started the meeting. We've got these 2 breakout rooms listed here. As one would expect, I could, rename them. I don't know what this meeting is about. Let's call it, I don't know, let's call one, I don't know. Let's just call one prep and call another one maybe, I don't know, fun or something. These are terrible names.
You could call it landing for prep and landing.
There you go. Yeah.
Christmas show.
Right. I have an 8-year-old, so I do know that show. So we're continuing to prep these rooms prior to the meeting. So in terms of participants, it's actually, let's not go there yet. Hit edit again. Actually, assign participants. Maybe we want it to be manual. So obviously I could choose automatic, and my rooms are created, named, ready to go. So once the team starts, they could automatically be put in those rooms. So let's go with manual for the sake of this. So I want Deborah in prep. This is going to be a really boring meeting with 2 people in a room by themselves. But anyway, put Nestor in fun, hit assign. Just thinking about it. There we got our participants in the room there. Okay. I could add, I believe, another room here if needed. This is just a little, I don't want to do that. Got some delete there. We've got breakout room settings. Okay, so here's where I could set up my not co-organizers, but co-managers, I guess, of the breakout rooms. So I'm getting all of that from that nice gearbox there. Time limits, all that good stuff, whether I want people to return to the meeting. So that was the little gearbox here that gave me that. So I've got all of that here. What would be interesting, and I don't know if I've got I don't have Deborah or Nestor set up yet here. Let me add Bob, because what I'd love to see, let's not do too many things at once here. So let's see, to this meeting, let's close that for a second. I wanted to add Bob here because I do have his profile ready. So we'll send an update there. I just wanted to see what Bob sees as we're doing this prep work. So here's Bob. And if he goes to his, let's go to Teams here. Okay, goes to his calendar, to that meeting that he's been added to. Don't want to join yet. I really just want to get in here. Okay, so I'm in the chat. I'm seeing meeting notes and whatnot. I'm not as a participant seeing any breakout rooms now. That's most likely because I haven't added him as a co-manager of the room. So I was just getting a feel for the fact that as a participant, he's kind of unaware of the fact that there are going to be these breakout rooms. And then I think, let me just come back to here. Go back to our breakout rooms. Okay. I would expect to see Bob there as a new participant. Let me just add him in with Nestor here. Oops, it's not there. And assign him to fun. Okay. Thinking about it. Got 2 participants in fun. Now, from Bob's perspective, still think he's unaware that he will be in that breakout room. What we can see here. All right. Obviously, I'm invited. I'm going to go ahead and have him join and see what he sees. Okay. He's joining via the browser. Just keep that in mind. But really he's not seeing anything yet related to the breakout room. So he's kind of unaware of all this prep work, which is fine. I just wanted to kind of see what that experience is. So we kind of now can see that the meeting has started because of Nestor. Got our breakout rooms going. Oh, okay. And so this is interesting because somebody's an early bird here and has joined my prep session. Now, in order to continue, I need to join the meeting to do so. Is what this message is telling me. So let's go ahead and join the meeting. And I would expect to see my all my breakout rooms there. Okay, so Bob's already in there. There's my normal breakout rooms button. And there are my rooms ready to go. Assignments all done. Could continue to do more. Seeing very similar options here to what I saw in the prep area. So we are, ready to rock and roll. And essentially, I just hit open to kind of get those going. And if I do that, then I think we're back to what we expect, right? We'd see Bob go into that room and so forth. So I think that's what we were trying to show, is that pre-meeting ability to prep, and it looks like that's working great. So hopefully, this is the experience that you're seeing with it having hit your tenant. If you haven't tried it already, then this is what you should be able to expect. So to me, that worked out pretty well. I don't know if anybody's got comments on that or anything. I think that worked the way I would expect it to work for pre-work. I guess what we didn't see is the co-managers experience. I would expect it though to be the same as what Ricardo is seeing here. Jim, I see your hand up.
Yeah, I was intrigued by that whole thing in there. If you were going to have more than one breakout session in a meeting, is there a way to set up different iterations of that?
Oh, more than one breakout. Okay. So like at the top of the hour, we'll break out into these rooms, and then at the bottom of the hour. Yeah, I would that's a good question. I haven't seen that,
Okay.
in any version or iteration of breakout rooms to date. just wondering even how that would look other than just manually. You can certainly create tons of rooms on the front end, maybe manually assign people to just a few rooms. That'd probably be the closest thing to it. Yeah, manually assign them to a couple of rooms at the top of the hour, and manually assign them to the other rooms at the next iteration. That would be my thought there.
Okay.
Yeah. But
One of the things that, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say one of the things that's been a challenge is to try and create connection opportunities for folks that may more closely resemble kind of what we call the water cooler.
Yeah.
Those informal opportunities and smaller groups of people that would randomly go in there. You have 15 minutes or something to be able to just have a casual conversation. But if it's in a room in the context of something else, you've blocked out an hour by rotating kind of in a almost a speed dating fashion, but
Yeah.
rotating the groups around. If there was a easy way to do that, that would be pretty amazing.
And I happen to actually be in a series of meetings right now that is doing that. It's a kind of lecture per se, and then breakouts at 15 minutes sessions. And you're right, it does work pretty well for that kind of engagement. You go from a room of, in my case, a room of 40 down to 4 or 5. And we get some instructions about something to do at that time, but we give each other time to introduce ourselves and that kind of thing, and it is helpful. What I've seen in this particular case is that the moderator of this meeting, just prior to the breakout, puts a list in the chat of the rooms and who's going to be where. Sometimes they even put a list and they say, Ricardo, you're going to be the room leader. Can you call in these 2 people? It just changing things up a bit. And now that we've been doing, it's a series of meetings now that we've been doing it a while, we're just, starting to get used to it. What is a little jarring is when, it automatically, pushes you back. And so I think we saw an option for that in terms of, letting people return to the main meeting, on their own per se. But you do get the banner 10 seconds to go. So you're not totally unaware, but yeah, it's working out well. And you're right. Getting people in that smaller space, is useful. I think that in this particular meeting, they have been playing around with the leader call the others, probably just to help keep them from having to, create so many rooms on the front end. So, that's a more of a manual option, and I guess that could work too. Just designating 5 out of 50 people to say, hey, call these other folks or something like that. But yeah, it's good stuff. Any other thoughts, comments, or experience with the breakout rooms, or how this new functionality might, be useful? I'm sure it's a big step forward. I mean, probably always something more we wish it had, but probably a big step forward for anybody that it was doing a lot of breakout room management. I know some organizers do more than others, depending on the kind of meetings they have. So good stuff. Oops, let me see. Where's Bob? Yeah, let's just checking again. So Bob can participate in this, even though he's coming from the browser. I'm going to go in and just hit open just to confirm his experience here. Oh, so we got one failed to open, probably because Deborah's not even in the meeting. Fun is opening. And see, breakout room session is started. You'll be automatically moved. There's Bob getting moved. Hopefully you're seeing the 2 things happening there. Oops. Bob is now in this meeting by himself, but he's in there again. Even as a browser participant, we can see Bob in the meeting. Got our little announcement button there. And Bob will get that. Should get that in his chat. Yep. So he's all good. Other than being by himself, he's all good there. And then go ahead and close these. Close the room, which should bring Bob back. Room will close in 10 seconds. Automatically move back. And we should see Bob join us again. There we go. So looks like it's rocking and rolling. So good stuff. Awesome. Well, while I'm here in this meeting, so I'll minimize Bob here for a second. This idea of bringing guests or external participants in. I always tell folks, if you're anybody on the planet with internet and a browser can join a meeting, and try to prove that, but also just show what that experience looks like. So I'm going to copy the meeting link here, and I am going to open up an in private browser, which, in theory should kind of represent some anonymous person. I mean, this is no credentials are in here. And I paste the link, and I'm going to cancel. I'm going to use the browser. Okay. So I got no credentials. All right. So as a anonymous, non-credentialed person, it's letting me in. It's just asking me to be polite and tell my put my name in there. Stranger. Got some controls there, but I can join even from the browser. Waiting in the lobby, a meeting guest. So again, anybody on the planet could have this link to join, but at least you can certainly control the lobby so that they just can't automatically come in. I might not know who stranger is or might not want strangers in a meeting at this time, but anyway, we'll let them in. So the stranger is in as a guest. And there's a guest here, capital G. I know last week I talked about capital G as that guest in your team with like a proxy, account versus this scenario is what I call guest with a little g. I haven't added them to my tenant or my team. They're just a guest in this particular meeting, and that's the only access they have, even though they're getting a capital G guest. Maybe I should stop using that terminology. But over here on the guest side, they're in the meeting. One of the big things that if you're a guest or adding someone external to a meeting, you would notice is that you see that this anonymous person on the planet is able to join my meeting, but is getting only the bare minimum experience here. I am allowed to chat here, but just text, right? No emojis or no files uploads or anything like that. Trying to think what else they would be limited on, and they can start. In this case, there is no camera or mic for this, but they should be able to turn on camera and mic in a normal scenario. But this is the big thing here: is the chat experience as an anonymous person versus, let's say, what Bob is experiencing. Where's his browser? Got too many things going on at this point. Bob gets more, right? Bob's in part of the org, so he gets the full shebang, even in the browser, right? So big difference there, side by side, in terms of that guest versus someone in the org, right? And it would be a difference if I could show it that that I call a guest with a capital G, someone that's like a guest in the team would I think would get more than this anonymous guest is getting, but not as much as what Bob's getting. So different levels. Teams is aware of, I don't know this guy. I absolutely know Bob, and then a guest with a capital G. I sort of know them, so I'll give them some capabilities. So, but you saw how easy that was getting that link to that person. They click it and, open up a browser. This person is not licensed for anything. They've just got internet and the link, and they're up and running. No, there was nothing to install. You may have noticed that as well. So they're good to go. So let me get well, I'll leave that open for now. The other scenario, though, that guest, what I call that guest with a capital G, or basically a collaboration guest, would be when we come into the team itself. And in this case, I'm going to add someone that I've prepped and ready to go. So I'm going to add the Surface Pro Bro. It's one of my other personas. I blog on Surface devices. So we're going to add them in their Gmail account. We're going to go ahead and hit add. Goes ahead and puts them in as a guest, and our work on the team side is done. If I check this out here, you will see. Oh, so we don't see them yet because I think they need to accept, and so that's the part we're going to do now. So I've added someone, but let's go to that person. So here's my Surface Pro Bro persona, and this is the Gmail account. And what we have here, you've been added as a guest to Contoso and Teams, to this project team morale event. So now we're going to open that. Okay. This is my Gmail password. Looks good. Sure. No thanks. Okay, go on. Here we go. I'm being added into the tenant, right? My Gmail account. You can see that gov, blah, blah, blah. And I am accepting. I'm accepting this guest relationship, right? And that's really the key thing there that's on the back end, doing some stuff that's going to allow me to collaborate. So we're going to keep going here. And so now this is a good place to stop. So as a guest, if I have Teams, I could go ahead and hit open here and let it open my Teams environment. It would put me in a different tenant, but all would be well. In this case, I'm just going to go with the use the web app. So again, I can collaborate with someone externally, even if they've never heard of Teams, nothing installed, they could hit that use the web app, and they'd be rocking and rolling. So let's see what they see. You're joining Teams as a guest. Welcome. You can chat. That's what this is saying. You can connect with meetings. And you're ready to go. So let's go. And what I see here now is my guest in Contoso guest tenant, right? This guest has been added to some other things here is what we're seeing. And as part of this particular tenant, the only thing I see is what I've been added to here, which is the morale event. I'm just going to say hello to everybody so you can see I can chat. You can see on my end, I am now getting that person's chat there. You can see them now as a guest. In fact, if I go see all members, I expect to see, yep, there they are as a guest. Notice the X, I can remove them at any time, but I can see them there as a guest in the team. And as a guest, even in the browser, here I am seeing all the files of the team. I'll open up the PowerPoint here in the browser. I can, make edits. I can do all that good stuff. Gonna do that there. I'll close that. I think I made my changes, or did it save? There's the auto save not on. Let's try that. Come back here. Go into files. And there we go. So Surface Pro Bro is modifying. Again, this is a unlicensed, external participant, but we are rocking and rolling in terms of co-authoring. I would expect to even see there's Surface Pro Bro in the document. We're working on it together, co-authoring, all that good stuff. So that was the ease with which I added him, but also the ease with which this external person accepted that invite and is now in the Teams area getting it done, chatting, doing files. And in fact, I think they could even, yeah, they can chat with folks that are part of the team, all that good stuff. So hopefully that's useful. I don't know if it, as you guys being Teams users may not have ever, seen the experience of an external party that you have added as a collaborator. So hopefully that was useful to see. All right. And now let me close some things because I got too many windows open. I'm confusing myself. But so hopefully that was cool. Any questions or thoughts on that? Concerns maybe. Sometimes there are concerns about how easy that is. For some, it's great because I got plenty of external people I want to collaborate with. For others, especially admins, what are you telling me that folks can just add whoever they want? And obviously, there's admin controls for all of that. But yeah, if you do need to collaborate, it doesn't have to be a big ordeal. So to me, that's a good thing. Any thoughts, questions on that? Any other questions or anything in our last couple minutes here? All right. All right. We will wrap up here, I guess. Again, Stacy and Nash usually join us. They had another meeting today. I'm sure they'll be back next week, and they'll join us again. You can find all the recordings at aka.ms/Q4Teams. And a question here, Android users state inability to use camera blur. Android joining via Android camera blur. I don't know. That'd be something I have to look up. Backgrounds and or blur on the mobile device. I've not looked into that before. So yeah, I'd have to check on that one because I believe I at least saw. I think it was browser users finally getting some things related to background. So maybe there's some new things coming there. But yeah, I don't know about blur for a mobile device. That's a good question. I have to check on that. I'll check with Stacy and Nash too and see if they heard anything there. Okay. All right. We're at time, so it's great to see you guys again. We'll see you next week for another Q4Teams.